So yes guys, hello and welcome back to the Adam Templeton Triathlete YouTube channel. You join me on Saturday the 6th of September 2025 for a long but not too long indoor Zwift bike ride, and the reason for it not being too long you'll have probably seen in the thumbnail or the title. Yep, we've got one more big hit out for the 2025 season. I'm going to be taking on another middle distance triathlon, this time the Vitruvian, sort of located not southeast of England but a good couple hours south of the northeast where I am at the moment. And yeah, what I'm going to try and do over the next week is hold myself accountable and do daily uploads to the YouTube channel again. The quality of the edits is going to be poor, but just thought it's better to share the story to the start line. And I'm also copying the icon of triathlon YouTube, that is Triathlon Dan, who's also started to do daily uploads once again. At the moment I'm just about an hour and 20 into this one. The plan, 3.5 hours, so I'll crack on here and join you once I'm finished to give more of an update on where my training's at, how it's been going, and if I'm feeling ready for the race. And here we have it, 3.5 hours on Zwift, done and dusted, executed as planned. So sort of what I've been doing on these long rides is just building the pace throughout to make sure that I've still got the strength at the end. So yeah, today 2 hours sort of bread and butter pace, 1 hour still aerobic but pushing on to more sort of upper aerobic, and then 25 minutes on the TT bars at the end. Heart rate maxing out at, what was that, 149, and then recovering at the end as well. So definitely in cruise control. I have to say, at the moment my aerobic fitness has never been this strong. After a couple of recovery days early on this week and the legs starting to come back around, wow, I'm definitely feeling in some pretty good shape. Up next, what I'm going to do is a quick change and then head out for a run, and I'll join you again after that one. And run complete, a sort of cruise control 10k. I've been doing a brick run after these long bike rides for the past couple of weeks, and then yeah, I chucked in a couple of 2-minute efforts, so 4 times 2 minutes on, 1 minute off, just really trying to get the turnover going. Definitely with the aerobic fitness that I've got, doing the long sessions, yeah, it feels great doing them, but when you try and get that top end going, oof, it's not the easiest revving the engine. So yeah, definitely over this sort of taper period, just sharpening up a little bit by the end. I guess it's the same for all athletes, but just with the training that I've been doing on the bike, yeah, I've not done much top end work at all, so just trying to get that turnover going. And that's first training done, being done at 10:30 rather than what it's been for the past couple of weeks at 12:30 is quite nice. So yeah, probably from here I'll get a quick bite to eat, do a bit of stretching, head off to the classic Asda weekly shop, and then go for a swim this afternoon. And another quick note actually, just before I start stretching here, I know I look like a complete hobo with my hair. I always like getting it cut before a race, and since the last race it's been 6 weeks, or it will be 6 weeks, and normally I get my hair cut every 4 weeks or so. So you know, I could have got it cut last week maybe, you know, do it 3 weeks and 3 weeks, or just wait the 6 weeks. So yeah, I've decided to wait, and it's an absolute riot, but that's why it's a mess. And there we go, been to Asda, got the shopping done. However, I'm raging. When I went to Home Bargains, they didn't have the oat bars that I like. It was really annoying. I've only got a few of them left in the house. And then when I was in Asda as well, they didn't have the normal loaf that I get, the gluten-free loaf that I get for my lunches during the week. he didn't have the nice tiger bread loaf that I like at the weekend. And then he didn't have the good melons as well. So I had to have a honeydew melon there instead of, I quite like a cantaloupe melon, so I'm absolutely raging. But yeah, had lunch and going to head to the pool in the next 15-20 minutes. But I thought before going, I'd give a breakdown, kind of where my training's been at, what I've been doing, what I've been up to. And yeah, sort of since the Olympic distance race just a few weeks ago now, I've sort of put pedal to the metal and yeah, just been pushing on quite a bit. Of course, during the week with working, there's only so much you can really push on. So the bike sessions that I normally do on a Tuesday and a Friday morning, the focus there has been threshold work and sub-threshold work, just sort of building that strength on the bike. I've, as you know, 180 watts, classic. I can pedal all day for as long as I want. It's not too difficult. You're not going through extreme amount of kilojoules like the pros when they're riding 300 watts at that sort of relative effort. But yeah, that sort of kind of sweet spot speed and sweet spot power that I hadn't really done a lot of focus on in the past. That's what I've been working on, and yeah, some of the sessions have been pretty big. Doing intervals on the TT bars as well, and yeah, definitely feeling a lot more comfortable. Before the Olympic distance race, in between the Northumbrian and that one, I'd bought spacers for the TT bars just to lift the front end up a little bit, and it's made a big difference. I think, like all the sort of bike fitters would say, when it's like the hip angle was too tight, so I've raised that up. I can push more power. I feel more comfortable, and yeah, it's definitely made a big difference. But yeah, some of those bike sessions, they were definitely pretty big. But I've managed. I've not had a Zwift workout in absolutely ages where I've had to pull the plug on an interval, so that's been pretty good. And then the running as well. I've been able to sneak in a couple of extra kilometres here and there, and specifically the weekend training that I've been doing, that's where the monster volume has been coming in. So on the bike, instead of just doing a sort of like bread and butter pace on the long ride, I've been doing kind of 2 hours easy steady, 2 hours steady, and then some sort of TT like tempo intervals at the end. And yeah, they've been pretty big. And then the long run that I've been doing, I've been able to put in some quality into that. In the past, or since I moved to Newcastle, I've sort of just put that on the back burner and not done too much. Again, I'm saying quality, it is more just sort of LT1 effort. So not pushing on big style, but definitely faster than just easy pace. And yeah, last weekend was the biggest weekend of training, and you're probably thinking, oh well, what's going on? Normally going into a race I'd maybe do like a week's taper, like a serious taper, but yeah, it was going to be sort of 1 week out that I'd call it quits, but I was starting to feel pretty tired. After completing the big bike session on a Friday, I then sort of decided, you know what, we'll take it to the middle of next week, we'll do one more bike session, that'll be fine. And then after Saturday, and then just before starting the long run on the Sunday, I was like, no, this is the last big one, and then we're pulling the plug here. And to be honest, I'm pretty happy that I did. Didn't quite realise how much fatigue I was carrying. I think just, yeah, normally you kind of want to play by the rule of, like, if someone was to say to you, right, we've got a race in X number of days, you should be able to be on the start line in a fairly fresh condition in the sort of 48-hour rule. So if you had a couple of days to carb load up, super rest, you should be good to go. Maybe 3 days at a push. But yeah, this week, pretty much Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I still wasn't feeling it. I honestly took to just yesterday, Friday, to kind of start to come back around. And yeah, if I'm being completely honest, I was maybe pretty close to burnout. Not extreme burnout, because again, the sessions were going fine. I was like, kind of nervous going into the sessions, you know, they're that big. But yeah, just more kind of mental fatigue, feeling pretty tired. But we've started to come back around, and it's nice when the body feels fresh and training load isn't as high. You start to feel the speed coming back. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, sort of the aerobic fitness that I've built from these, because pretty much the past 2 weekends has been like a 7 hour day on the Saturday, and then the long swim, long run on the Sunday. So yeah, it has been pretty extreme. And yeah, sort of last week it was over 100 k's of running. So the week before just short of 100k, and then last week was over 100k. And sort of doing the quality work or steady work on a long run definitely does build the fitness. And then the swimming's been going okay. Nothing major there. Trying to do a couple of shorter intervals, but most of the time, to be honest, with me for the swim, it's just about trying to become as economical as possible at a pace where my technique is still okay. So there's no point in me. Of course, long term, yes, you want to improve all pace zones. And I think that it's always been the issue with my training is I'm definitely a diesel athlete, and anything sort of top end I don't really do too much of. So my threshold and my ceiling are really, really tight together. So I don't have too much range at that top end. But it's still just a case of getting through the swim. But yeah, again, as the fatigue has been lifting this week, that's where you notice it the most, because obviously with it being such a technique sport, with swimming, if you feel mentally tired or out of it, it's going to show straight away. But yeah, started to come back around now. Can confirm I'm not burnt out. I'm still ready to go. Again, quite excited for this race now. Again, the weekend here, this is the last sort of bit of fatigue that I'll build, and then yeah, Monday onwards is sort of when it's completely shut down, and it's just about activation sessions, pretty much no more than maybe like 5 minute intervals on the bike, and then within the swim and the run, short, sharp stuff, just keeping the body ticking over. And yeah, that's sort of an update of where I'm at. And yeah, sort of with the YouTube as well, I know in the last race video I was saying, oh, it's because I'm out of ideas, but to be honest, sort of the motivation for making videos was gone as well. Even filming this video today, and I need to make sure I hold myself accountable, and I'll keep it as sort of a week of daily uploads. It just feels like a bit of a fraud, you know, just because I've not uploaded in such a long time consistently, and the amount of training that I've done has developed me as an athlete, but then I've not showed that on the camera. But yeah, when you're doing a 7 hour day, and then yeah, when you've got work during the week, the last thing that you kind of then want to be doing is sitting down at the computer for a longer time and then editing a video. But yeah, that's an update of where I'm at. And now from here, head to the pool. Probably keep it just the usual. I usually go and do like 3.5k on a Saturday, 3k to 3.5k, in for an hour, just get a feel for the water and prep for the longer swim tomorrow. Again, it won't be a super long swim tomorrow, and it won't be a super long run tomorrow, but yeah, I've saved that action for then. And now I'm just procrastinating getting this clip finished. It's time to head to the pool, and I'll catch you once I'm done that swim. And there we have it, swim done and dusted, 3.5k's in the books. And it's one of those swims where it's sort of, I just sort of confused myself that I was there, and when I was doing like a few lengths of a drill and then like 5 to 10 minutes of swimming at a sort of like a pushing pace, but not hard, and I was hitting the classic like 140 to 142 pace. But then when I'll go to the pool tomorrow and I'll be trying to swim a more kind of threshold effort, it's 1:38 pace. So it's like, I think the biggest problem with swimming for me is understanding what increasing the effort actually means. To exert more force on the water, to increase turnover, but yeah, at least sort of that kind of steady pace has slowly gotten faster, so I have to be doing something right. But yeah, training finished, and yeah, feeling pretty good, and it's great. Again, it's only like 3:20, so that's absolutely magic. And I'll probably sign off the video here. So if you did enjoy this one today, be sure to hit the like button, and if you want to keep up with the rest of my lead in to the Vitruvian Middle Distance Triathlon coming up in just 8 days time, make sure you press subscribe, and I'll catch yous in the next one.